So welcome back to the tent. Today we have a special project. We're going to put in a little watering hole on our seasonal creek. The reason we're going to do that is it's been super dry, and which is good. Super dry is good for our turkey poults, and this year we're blessed with a lot of them. Our turkey population here in upstate New York, at least in this area, has been on the decline for about 10 years. We haven't had that good of a recruitment of turkey poults. In the last few years, I haven't seen any. Hens with no poults is not a good sign. So this year we got 3 hens. One has 2, and the other 2, which are always together, have amongst them, or between the 2, around 25 poults. It's kind of hard to tell what poults go with what hens because they're always together. But they've got about 25, the best I can count, and those little guys are all over the place, so it's hard to count. But anyways, it's really dry. We're gonna fix this little water hole. I've got another watering hole that I put in up above to hopefully help survival of these poults, because we want these little poults to make it. I'm not sure what the decline is all about. I think it's a multifaceted problem. I think it's habitat issues. I think it's predation issues. I think it's a weather issue. Poults are really susceptible to wet, rainy springs, cold, rainy springs. They hatch, they get wet, they get cold, they don't survive. This year, however, it's been hot and dry. Perfect for poults to survive. But it's really dry. So we are going to fix this little watering hole. I built a water tank for the back of my 4x4 or side-by-side, and so that'll allow me to come down here and put water in these 2 watering holes and keep these birds wet or not thirsty. So we're going to work on that today. Let's get at it. So this is just a seasonal creek that was here when we started to develop this area, and it was pretty much just a wash down through here. So as we've worked on our fields, we've brought stone in that we pulled out of the fields, and there's a lot of stone in here, and we've lined this to keep it from washing anymore. But when I did that, I tried to create this little catch basin to hold water. It is lined with a piece of rubber roofing, but it has sprung a leak or something's happened. It does hold a little bit of water, but not much. It dries up pretty quick. So we're going to tear this apart, pull that membrane out, put a new one in, and fill it full of water. We're going to pull this apart, get her fixed up. I did notice yesterday before I put some water in here, because I wanted to see how much water it held, I did notice some turkey tracks, some little turkey tracks, so there's no doubt that these hens and their poults are coming through here and utilizing this water. It's a perfect little shallow water hole for them to come into, especially the little ones, and get a drink in these hot, dry days. I can see the membrane right there. So when we put this membrane in here, we put it in, then we put stones around the edge to keep it in place. Originally it was about 8 inches deep, and you know, 5 foot by 2 foot, but it's not holding any water right now, I'll tell you that. See, the membrane level is right there. It should be full all the way up there, but it's not. When we get a lot of rain, this runs pretty hard, and so it does wash a lot of stuff down through here and fills it up. So we'll just get this membrane all uncovered, get all the rocks off in it, dig this mud out, see what we can do. got to get all these rocks out. There's a lot of rocks in here. And this smells just how it looks. Pretty much, but hey, it's all good, right? All right, I got most of the stuff cleaned out of here, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my tank of water, come in here and flush this out, see what we got, because I could scoop all day long in this muck and it'll still look the same. So we're going to flush it. Let's flush it. We got a low spot right there. You can see where the rubbers drop down. Maybe that's where it was leaking out. We'll see. This is a pretty heavy rubber material that they use for rubber roofs, so it should be pretty strong. I was surprised it was leaking, and actually maybe it's not really leaking. We'll find out. We're going to lift that corner up, we're going to fill it full of water and see where she settles in. We're just going to put this up here to hold that up there. You see, that's a low spot, so just about to our low spot, but I might be able to lift that up. Put some rocks behind it. Maybe we can make that low spot a little higher. Well, that just about does it for our water. I'm just about to the top anyways. We're pretty good. Lifted this side up. We're gonna let it settle out and see where that level drops to. Get a better idea of where our leak, if we have a leak, is. We'll let it set for a few hours, come back and see what she looks like. So we just went back and got another load of water. It's been about an hour and a half since we filled this up. It hasn't gone down a bit. Take a look at this. So I don't think we had a leak. I think we had just had part of the rubber material had folded down, and that was the low spot, because it hasn't gone down. Doesn't look like it's gone down at all. So the next step is to replace the stones around the edge, give it a nice look. We've got another load of water. We're going to dump it right in there and let it flush out. I think it'll look good. Let's get to it. Hopefully these turkeys will have a place to drink, and the deer, and the coon, and the birds. Whoever wants to drink out of it, it's there for the taking. Okay, let's start replacing stones. flat stones. So we don't have a shortage of rocks around here, I'll tell you that. So what I've been doing is going and picking through my creek bed here, picking up stones, placing all the little nooks and crannies. So you can fill in all these little big areas, but then there's a lot of small areas that it looks nicer if you fill them in. That's what I'm doing. That's probably not the best thing to have happen in this mucky water, is it? Yeah, probably not. Some sharp stones in here. Oh well. I'll go rinse that off. Well, it's the next day and we've come down to check the watering hole to make sure it's holding water, and it is. Hasn't gone down at all. So we didn't have a leak, thankfully. I didn't have to replace the membrane. All I had to do was fold that one side up. That's where the water was escaping, and it's good. Oh, that feels good on the feet. Well, there you have it. She's all done. At least she's holding water. So when I do stuff like this, I want it to be, I want it to serve a purpose, but I also want it to be aesthetically pleasing. And I think this is aesthetically pleasing, at least to me anyways, you know. The beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So we're gonna flush this out one more time and let it settle for a while and see what happens. It seemed to be holding water. Until next time, we'll see you later. Hey, hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. And we'll see you next time. Oh.